So your question is, your goal of such a gigantic proportion, is it really connecting to your original what?
Original self, or is it natural, or is it a visual thinking, or an influenced thought, or is it a thought, or is it something more?
Something more meaning, is it original?
Is it true?
Or is it a part of destiny?
Maybe.
Is that the more meaning what?
No, is it like materialistic?
Like I want to have a Lamborghini, similarly.
Like that. Is that a fanciful idea
of
having that influence or access?
Okay, Nitin. Who is the first one who is authorized to give an answer to this?
It's me only.
I can of course give you an answer, but that answer will be only knowing. Now, point number 2. This was discussed when we met first also. What difference it makes? If you are ready to pursue, if you are ready to undertake that potentially hazardous journey to that goal, are you ready?
I am.
Then what?
So that, how did it come to me?
Why do you want to know that?
That's why I got confused with the karma and pastime.
My question is, why do you want to know that? When a gift is coming to you, why do you want to know its authenticity? Why do you doubt it? You doubt it because, is it because you have a doubt about your ability to travel that path? Question number 1. Question number 2. Is it a doubt because you think that you are somehow not eligible to make that journey or reach that goal? Or you don't deserve that kind of a goal?
I used to think like that, but now kind of...
And that's quite natural, don't worry. Because it is too high. Why Sudhamani was beaten with whatever that coconut thing and through the entire beach of whatever that place? Because the people around could not believe when this little girl of such a sorry to use that word, family claimed that I am the goddess in that temple. You know that culminating event. Before that also she did something, but the culminating event is she openly declared that I am the goddess in the temple. Then the people got wild and taking that, that model of the coconut leaf, they changed her and beaten her to unconsciousness. Had they not done that day, there would not have been Amardhanandamai. That's another story. Now, why the people got so furious? Because they, even in their distant, possible, probable imagination, this stupid looking girl is anywhere near the goddess which they have been worshipping for centuries. Okay? That's all. Even now, I know her brother, one of the brothers, his name is Sadish. She has 2, 3, 4, 5 brothers. Even now she is a Sudhamani for her father, mother, brother, sisters, because they cannot understand what is going on. They have seen her a naked little girl sitting inside the room. And entire world is questioning, okay, agreed, that's it. But I am sure, I am declaring it in this video, I am 100% sure that neither the father nor the mother nor any of the siblings really understand what she is talking about and the worth of Amardhanandamai. Because they are so familiar with her. There is no 2 horns on her head, okay? Of course, in the beginning she used to wear the dress of Saraswati, Lakshmi and all those things. Even then, they just cannot believe because they think some stupid things about so-called being a god or goddesses, If that is the case, but she had the daring, for whatever reasons, to believe that I am that goddess. It is she did not need anybody's certification. That's because she was so illiterate and uneducated. Look at all these people. What is the education of Satyasai Baba? What was the education of even Jesus or Krishna or Buddha? They were, as you use the word, they were just original human beings. What a thought occurred to them, it was done. Similarly, there are some great guys. Have you heard of Ramana Maharshi?
Yeah.
What was his background? Okay. So, you are educated, you are intelligent, you have a lot of social connection and activity, so you have your self-image, a critical concept in psychology. Your self-image is that of a young dynamic guy moving around with girls and boys doing what you call Kit Kat, what is that? And Instagram and playing music and being the secretary of some normal things. And if one day, if you declare to the local population that I am this, be careful not to be jailed. What happened to Socrates? You know the story of Socrates? Yeah. I will tell you the story of Socrates. Very relevant in your case, or in the case of general originality and creativity of the human entity itself. He was, do you know about him? Heard of that name? Socrates? Socrates is the greatest possible philosopher in the West. Somewhat like Vyasa or Patanjali in India, but somewhat like, not anywhere near Patanjali, but somewhat like Vyasa. He was a vagabond. History says that he was the ugliest man in entire Athens. Okay? He was apparently healthy. He lived a life by carrying like a headload worker, doing all kinds of menial jobs for other people. Sleep on the roadside or whatever, that kind of a guy. At that time in Athens, there were all the great philosophers, all the great so-called scientists existed at that time. Science formed there by alchemists, alchemists. Great alchemists, great astronomers, great astrologers, astronomers, etc. Great logicians all existed at that time. There was Aristotle and Diogenes and Crito and all those people existed at that time. So somehow he was well known in the locality as a helper. He was so seen in villages. Okay. So there was a gentleman, an aristocrat by name Crito, Crito, who was an intimate friend of Aristotle. Aristotle, you have heard about him, right? So this Crito had some favors received from the temple of Delphi. There was a famous great temple called the Delphi temple, where the god was Apollo. Apollo was the god. So there is a practice or a tradition that if you need anything, if you have some wishes to be fulfilled, you will say that I will offer something to the temple if this is granted. That give and take phenomenon naturally. So Crito had some great wish to be granted. At that time, in the temple of Delphi, the greatest offering of that time was a live cock, bird, the male bird. So Crito, being an aristocrat, he managed to get a really healthy cock and it was nurtured. Because at the time of offering, they will buy this cock and nurture it and keep it. It became a huge, ferocious bird. So somebody was required to carry that bird to the temple, Delphi temple. So he summoned this guy. Socrates was ready to do anything. So Socrates carried this bird and both of them went to the Delphi temple. And as they reached the temple, at that time the temple had priestesses, not priests. So the priestess came down to the threshold, to the door, and Crito was there. Of course, he was very well known as Socrates. And Socrates was standing with him, carrying a huge bird in his hand. So she understood. So she summoned some two people from inside and they got the bird from Socrates and they left. And Krito said, my such and such a wish was granted. And she said, okay. Then she looked at this Socrates and told Krito that in the entire world there is no one anywhere near him in wisdom and understanding. And she went inside. Krito was shocked. She even doubted that the priestess might have thought that because this guy has come with me, she is somebody, though he looks so ugly or uncouth or there are images of Socrates. With unmanaged hair and mustache and his nose was very ugly, etc. etc. For a moment Krito even doubted because he has come with Krito. But it is called a Delphic oracle. Delphic oracle. It is very well known. You can search in the internet. Oracle, tradition. It is very well known, Delphic oracle. The priestess would make an oracle. It is not as a regular practice. When she gets it, she will say that. So, to get a Delphic oracle itself is an absolutely uncommon thing. And that has happened to this man. And Socrates did not understand anything. That kind of an ignorant, unlearned, ordinary vagabond, beggar kind of a person he was. And on the way back, Krito told him what happened. He did not even know that there is something called a Delphic oracle. And the entire way back, Krito was trying hard to explain to this man that what she said is that you are the man of the greatest wisdom and enlightenment in this world. Where do they mean others? I mean, we used to word concept. At that time, word was like that. From that moment onwards, Socrates was trying to see whether it was true. He would go to the greatest astronomer, and the word was spread around. Krito went and told Aristotle, Aristotle went and told to Diogenes or Demosthenes. There are so many philosophers of that time. So everybody was flabbergasted. Such great philosophers and men of wisdom are there in Athens. And the Delphic oracle says that Socrates is about top in the world. So they were also eager to meet him. So as soon as he would approach, they would receive him, maybe with a despise or whatever, and Socrates would enter into a question and answer session with them. And every time, learning from what they said about astronomy, he will defeat them in debate. Nobody could win over him. That is Socrates. And finally we came to the contest of Socrates, in the contest of your question. And that Socrates was poisoned to death by the compulsion of the so-called clergies and other so-called aristocrats. On the complaint that he is changing the mind of the young people. To continue the story, at that time the kings were really kings, very old people. In India also, like Vikramaditya or Chandragupta Maurya or Rajaraja Chola, those kind of kings only, people were kings at that point of time. So the king understood. But the king being the king, he has to follow the democracy. The majority of power clergy want him to be killed. So at that time the killing was by administering a poison which is the juice of a plant called hemlock. And he was jailed, of course. And on the particular day, and the king arranged this very Krito, who was a very powerful aristocrat, to arrange his escape from the jail. And Krito went and told him, he said, no, I don't want to. I am ready to welcome the sweet death. That was his response. And the story says that the jailer who brought in that poison, even he was crying and shivering, he could not move his hands to give the bowl of poison thing. He said, don't worry, you stay there, I will collect it. And that's why he died. So that Delphic oracle is there with you. And you were the origin of the Delphic oracle. For you. Do you have the daring to believe it is true?
I have. I wanted to clarify certain things.
Yeah, we don't know what all doubts Socrates had.
Yeah.
I have not interviewed Socrates. Okay. But quite possible that he also doubted.
Yeah.
Because it's a sudden revelation of such a proportion. He was obviously doubted. That's why he went in to meet with them whether it is true or not. So similarly, you have approached me to know whether it is true or not.
Yeah.
Okay? And I say it is true.
It's the whole